Uh, all right, come on in, everybody. Uh, uh, uh. All right, everybody. So as you come in, let me know where you are in the world, and let me know if you can hear me well. So let me know if you can hear the sound, if you can hear the piano, if you can hear my voice. If it's too loud or not loud enough, just let me know. Uh, uh, mm, uh, uh. All right, hello everybody. Hello, how are you all? Let me just talk to a few of you all in the chat really quickly. I feel like my microphone is really, really loud. Let me just pull it back just a tinch. All right, so I'm just gonna see who's here, and we're gonna get started. Hey Leon, how are you? Hey Moses. Hey Prem Kumar from India. Hey, wow, thanks for being on. Alaba Stephen. Hey, from Nigeria. Wow, Shem Kalili from Wales. Did I say your name right? Shem Kalili. Kalili. Joshua Blair, what's going on, man? Boston, how's it going? Jonathan from New York. Wow. Anthony Collier. Hey. WV Monitoring from Haiti. Wow. Come on in. Let's see who else is here. Dominique Defoy from Canada. Woo! Keith Wilson from Atlanta. Wow. See Mike Shelton. Who else is in the room? The musical evening, sir. How you doing? Noriko. Hey, Noriko. I think from New York. Marquito Day from Michigan. Freshams, what's going on? Elliot from Texas. Jimmy from Maryland, what's going on? Let's see. Milton from Puerto Rico. Bishwa from India. Manipur. Manipur. I think that's right. Don't hold it against me. Wow, wow. Well, thank you all for being on. If this is your first time being on today, let me know in the chat. Let me know. This is my first time, Corey, catching a live stream. So let me know. But my name is Corey Taylor from skilledmusician.com, where we are helping musicians improve. So thank y'all so much for being part of this live stream. If this is your, if you're watching later, rather, then thank you so much for watching later. So today's lesson is going to be a really, really, really interesting one. We're going to talk about 14 mistakes that I see beginning gospel musicians make. And so I want to talk about them. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, y'all. So I was reading an article from a site called Jazz Advice, and they wrote out an article about mistakes that beginning jazz musicians make. And so I was thinking about it, and I was saying, you know what, I need to adapt this for gospel musicians, and I want to share this with you all. Some things that I've noticed that musicians make. So I've actually put a link to that article in the description box. So if you want to check that out, it's a really cool article. They have a great site. Um, but I wanted to share some mistakes I see uh, gospel musicians make that especially beginners. So I have 14 of them. So I'm going to go through really quickly, and depending on how much time I have at the end, maybe we'll take some phone calls. We'll see. Maybe we might. We'll see how much time we have at the end. We might take some phone calls and hear from some of you all about some of the mistakes you've noticed. Okay? So let's get started. All right. All right. So the first mistake I see um, beginners make is they don't spend any time developing their theoretical knowledge. So they don't spend any time developing their theory. All right. Um, uh, Theory is a way of organizing the information into uh, uh, snippets, things that you can grab. Um, and so when you don't understand theory, um, it makes it so much more information that you have to learn. And so a lot of times beginners are just teach me how to play this song. How do you play Amazing Grace? What are the chords? That chord and this chord. Okay, I got it. And you never understand the theoretical underpinnings of the song, which make it easier to understand. So let me give you an example. Let's look at a 2-5-1 progression. So I'm gonna give you I'll do that. Simple 2-5-1. All right. All right. So if you didn't understand theory, then you would be trying to memorize every note, right? Uh, but when you understand theory, this first chord is just a D minor 9. The second chord is just it's really a G9 rootless. And then the third chord is just a C major 9. But if I take a higher step at it, a step away from it, this is just a 2-5-1 progression in the key of C. So you see, if I didn't know theory, then I would be sitting there saying, okay, I have to play a D, a C, a F, A, E in my right hand. I got to remember that. And then I got to remember the next chord. I got to do this. But when you understand theory, you understand this is just a 2-5-1 progression in the key of C. It makes it so much easier. So now if I want to transpose that to another key, let's say I want to do it in, I don't know, E. Right, I go up here. Well, it makes it so much easier. I just went straight to it because I understand what it is. And so a lot of beginners don't develop their theoretical understanding. They just say, "Teach me how to play this one thing. I want to know how to play, uh, shout music. Teach me how to play shout music." And I understand the theoretical underpinnings. But when you understand the theory of it all, it makes it so much easier to transpose other keys, and you learn information even faster. So this is the first mistake I see beginning gospel musicians make. All right. Um, um, the next one. This is a really a little esoteric concept. So these are not in any order, right? But the next one is they don't develop uh, music in their mind, right? Now this is not everybody. Now gospel musicians, because we're playing the music along with singers and stuff. This sometimes doesn't happen, but many times we don't move beyond just kind of playing the chords underneath the singer and hearing the music itself. So we just kind of play, and we're not really hearing Well, we haven't developed the skill of hearing and reproducing the stuff we're hearing in our head. Because there's other stuff you're hearing in your head, um, but we haven't developed the skill of really tuning in and being able to reproduce it. So I want to give you a couple ideas. Um, well, let me give you just one idea. Sing, sing, and then try to play what you sing. Just sing it and try to play what you sing. I started doing this about 10 years ago, just singing and just trying to play everything I sing, and it has dramatically changed the way I hear music. And so now when I hear things, I know what they are immediately, and I don't have perfect pitch, um, but it enables me to hear quicker. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is a big one. This is a big one. Beginners like to avoid struggle. All right. Beginners like to avoid struggle. Now, this is a really big one. Here's the thing. As a beginner, we are so looking to learn this latest thing, or just teach me the song the way the way it's supposed to be played. Give me your chords. Uh, that we avoid the struggle. Here's what I mean. Um, Sometimes when you're sitting there trying to learn a chord for a song, I can remember when I first started off. I remember I counted one night. I think I spent like 3-4 hours trying to hear. I think it was like two chords. Like I would, and it's just steadily on repeat. Just repeat it and repeat it, and I'm trying to hear it, and it was some of the most frustrating times trying to hear this. Uh, um, but this time of frustration, this time of really working through this struggle, um, really helped me uh, um, to not only value this process, it trained my ear to hear better, um, but then it helped with how I retained in the information. When I spent those 3-4 hours trying to hear a chord, when I finally found out what it was, this was like a finding a treasure. It was like, this is a friend of mine, and I will never forget this one. And so I know that sound. So when I hear a song and hear somebody playing and I hear that chord, I'm like, oh, I know that chord. And this happened over and over again. And so don't be so quick to avoid the struggle, right? Now, let me see. I have a couple that I'm debating about sharing. Let me just say this one. Let me just talk about this. So let me just dig a little more in that one. Don't avoid the struggle. One reason why, as I said, it shows how how your brain stores information. Things that you've worked for and had to strive to get, um, they stick they stick in your brain. They become part of your musical memory. Things that kind of, you know, oftentimes things that you didn't have to work for, or just they don't stick, and so you have trouble. Like, hey, somebody he showed me that chord the other day, but I don't remember what it was, or she showed me that chord, but I don't remember how it went. So these memorable experiences where we have to struggle to find this chord, um, uh, they're important, right? Because I can hear some people saying, "Hey, Corey, if you know the chord, or the chord is written down in this book, or the chord is on this YouTube video, why not just use it?" Um, well, because it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. It's not yours yet. It doesn't become part of you. It's just something that you might have learned. I mean, you learn from the video or learn from me, but it doesn't stick. Now there are methods to make it stick, and I'll talk about those later. But working for it is so much better and so much more rewarding. Okay, let me keep going. All right, here's the biggest part. Here's the biggest part. Though as you struggle, you're gonna you're gonna get frustrated. It just is what it is. You're going to get frustrated, and you know you got to figure out some ways to deal with the frustration. Some days, it's just like, man, I am not going to leave this piano until I figure out what this chord is. And I remember literally just banging my head against the piano, like, what is this? So you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated. But learn how to deal with it. So sometimes take a break, walk away, and then come back. Have somebody you can talk to and say, hey, I'm just a little frustrated right now, but I'm gonna work through it. And even when the easy answer is 2 clicks away on the internet, still work through it. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. Another mistake I see beginner musicians make is they don't explore. They don't explore. And this is something, I actually, for me, I started doing really early on, and didn't even realize it. But we don't explore as beginners. We approach the piano as this rigid thing, and okay, this is the chord I have to play. That's what it is, or I have to play it this way. And we don't explore other sounds or other notes or other ways to play it. We just kind of get locked in. And so I want to encourage you, when you walk into your practice session, um, approach it as if I'm going to solve some new puzzle, as Jazz Advice says. Solve a new puzzle. Or like I'm an investigator, or I'm like Sherlock Holmes, and I'm going to figure out this case, right? I'm going to figure out what that thing is, and so make your practice environment that type of place where you can explore. I remember for a long time that was just part of my practice routine. Is just I'm going to explore stuff and just try stuff I never would. Like I'm just going to put this note with this chord and just see what happens, and just have it be a time of exploration. Um, Let me see. Now, do any of you all do that? Do any of you all do that? Do any of you all explore? Let's see. Josh says, I think not exploring comes from the fear of not sounding good. That's exactly right. You don't explore because you don't want to sound bad. But when you're in the practice room, when you're in your own place, who are you afraid of sounding bad for? It's just you and the piano. I think you're right, Josh. Um, but we definitely want to get over that fear of not sounding good, and just explore. Make that part of your practice routine is the explore. One thing I learned, and I'll share this with you. I went to grad school and I have my master's in music, but the thing I learned that I think was the most valuable thing I learned in grad school was not playing stuff or these. The thing I learned most was how to ask questions and how to answer them. How to ask and answer questions. So what I do all the time is I'm playing something or I'm hearing something, I'm watching something, and I'll ask the question, whatever the question. What is that? Why does that work? Um, does this work? It's like why did he do that? And then here's the key. Here's the key. And then I have to answer the question. I can't just gloss over the answer. I have to answer the question, right? And here's what I discovered. Here is the interesting part about this. Even if your answer is wrong, even if it's wrong, it leads you on this path of discovery that's better than if you had said, I don't know, and just kept on going, right? So I'll ask questions. So you should ask questions of what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and then come up with an answer, right? And it doesn't have to be right. Just come up with an answer. Um, and this will lead you down the path of exploration, right? Okay. So explore. Explore. Someone says in the chat, I see someone says, I mess up on purpose in an effort to find many of the things I've heard in my head for so long. I tell you, some of the chords, my most memorable chords that I play all the time, happen when I made a mistake. And I didn't dismiss it. A lot of times we'll make a mistake and immediately dismiss it as, oh, I made a mistake, and stop. But make a mistake and listen. Listen to how that sounds, because it might be something that really resonates and sounds amazing. Okay. So ask the question of yourself and answer it. Okay. Let's keep going. I have a long list here. Okay. This is something that I think is very much true. And not just for beginners, but for intermediate and even advanced musicians. Listen, don't underestimate your individuality. You bring something unique to the table. You bring something valuable to the table. You bring something different to the table, to the musical table, that is. You have different life experiences. You have different training. You hear differently. And so you bring something different to the table. And so celebrate that difference. Celebrate your creativity. Celebrate the way you think about music. And don't denigrate it and downplay it. And so oftentimes we diminish ourselves in an effort to be someone we're not, in an effort to be someone else. Now it's important to, you study people and you learn from them and glean, and even children learn how to talk from their parents, mimicking their parents. So that's not what I'm saying. But don't diminish what you have, what God has gifted you with. You have a unique voice. And this is something that I think every level musician struggles with. When you hear some of the greats, you struggle with being who you are because you want to be like the great. So for so many years there was a slogan, "Be like Mike," in reference to Michael Jordan. Well, there were so many musicians that tried to be like Mike. But instead of being like them, you're different from Mike. You bring something different to the table. So there are so many musicians whose sound has become pervasive in gospel. Well, there's a Mike in gospel, Mike Burrell. Now, he is phenomenal. Before him, and still today, Kevin Bond, his sound changed gospel, and is super attractive. And so, but bring who you are to the table as well, right? So don't dismiss who you are. You bring value. Even if you don't sound like those guys, you bring something to the table. This is something that I had to learn, because when I would sit down in the presence of these guys, these heavyweights, I would feel like I don't measure up. But I bring something different that they don't bring, and so value that. All right. I don't know what number we're on, but let's see. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6. Here we go. Number 6. I think we're on 6. All right. A lot of gospel musicians ignore the gospel tradition. A lot of musicians ignore the gospel tradition. So let me tell you, I was very much guilty of this. I was I was the worst. Um, when it came to jazz, I learned the history. I had an encounter with Wynton Marsalis, and he challenged me to learn my history, learn the musicians that came before me. So I learned the history um, of this music, of jazz music. I learned the people that came before me, why how they played these things. But in gospel music, I just wanted to sound like the guys of today. I didn't want to learn all about the history of it. Gospel music history, we have hymns, right? Um, we have invaluable resources and people who can share the history of the music with us because everything wasn't written down. Um, and so a lot of times we lose the tradition. Many musicians don't know the hymns of the church, and as a gospel musician, it's important to know the hymns of the church, right? Um, and there's so much history in gospel music. Do you know where gospel music originated? Do you know those that came before? Like we don't know this. All we know is I want to sound like that guy up the street who is blazing. We don't know the history. But knowing the history gives your playing weight and authority. Because when you know the history, like when you sit down and play, now you're just not playing the latest stuff, but you have some roots in this music. Okay. All right. Let me number 7. So one thing that'll help with this is falling in love with the music. Do you love gospel music? Like, do you love it? Um, do you you wake up thinking about it? Um, do you love this music? Like I would all day long listen to this music, and I would. This is back in the day before a lot of stuff was available. So you get a CD, buy the CD, and then you go straight to the liner notes to see who played on what song where, and then when you find out, oh, this guy played here, then I'm trying to find every record he played on, trying to buy those, and just study, like learn. Uh, just because I fell in love with gospel music, just felt it, the bug bit me, and I was a goner. I don't know what to say. I was a goner. It was over. Um, uh, but but that love of the music um, will help propel you when uh, you get frustrated in the practice room. And I also mentioned too. I am a Christian, so along with loving the music, loving the God of the music helps you in those times as well. Um, uh, but yeah, yeah, and you know what? I fell in love with gospel music before I was actually playing gospel music. I remember like my first CD was like a 1990 Wow Gospel CD. Like they had like the best of that year's top 30 chart or songs or whatnot, and it had some old Fred Hammond, I think, or in commissioned, and just some of the great songs, man. It was just when I fell in love with the music then, man, and it hasn't waned. Um, all right, um, all right. So here's the. Let me see. What is this? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think this is number 8. Yeah, I think this is number 8. All right. So the eighth mistake I see musicians make, beginning gospel musicians make, is they don't learn the language. They don't learn the language. What do I mean? Well, there are some changes that are just gospel music. Um, um, all right, hold on one second. Uh, uh, um, yeah, so there are some classic changes, like those kind of changes. Um, like that gives weight to your playing. That makes you sound authentic. But if everything is like, you know, like it's all that. Like you gotta learn all of the language, old and new, right? And so this is what helped me get this, because all I wanted to learn was this new stuff. I didn't want to learn any of the old stuff. But then I realized this. For instance, if I'm in the key of F and I'm going to the four, well, how can I get there? Well, there are new school ways to get there, um, and so I started seeing them as answers to that question. How do I get from the one to the four, from F to B flat? And I can do a new school way. That's one answer. But do I have any other answers? Right? Do I have any older answers? Do I have answers from every era? Because every era answered this question. They just answered it differently. So do I have those answers? Or do I only know one? Do I only know the one from 2020? Right? Uh, because some places need the answer from 1970. And do you have it? Right. Okay. All right. I'm going as quickly as I can. Let's see if I can get through all of these. All right. Number 9. Here's another mistake I see gospel musicians make. They don't actually learn songs. Like, you don't learn the songs. Like, you learn them well enough to get through that Sunday or engagement or whatever you're playing. And if someone was to come back and ask you to play that song again, you have no idea how to play it. You're lost, right? And so here's why. There are a couple reasons why this is. It's because you don't dig in and learn what makes this song special. Like what is it about this song? What are the things you need to know about? Like understanding the overarching uh, 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 direction of the song. We don't learn. We don't dig into them. So and I gave you maybe about a month ago or maybe 2 months ago. I gave you the answer. My secret to um, I forgot what I called it, but I talked about playing the skeletal version. Do y'all remember that? Playing the skeletal version and then getting the rest of it. And when you do that, you know these songs, like you have them. So next time somebody comes, it doesn't even need to be in the same key because I understand the way this song works. All right. All right. So there we go. That was number 9. Not learning a tune. 10. Glossing over unknown chords. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. If I could run right now, I would run. I would run around this room right now. Listen, because I did this. I heard so many musicians do it, and it's terrible. We gloss over unknown chords. Like, we try to approximate what it is, Like if I don't know it, I'm not gonna spend the time to learn it. I'm gonna like fake like I know it. Um, there are so many songs I can think of where I've seen musicians like make up chords, um, or just not even play it. Like let's see, what is that song? Uh, oh yeah, like here's one. So there's a song called "Nobody Greater" by Vashawn Mitchell. "Nobody Greater" by Vashawn Mitchell. This song, many musicians have crashed and burned. And so, for the beginner musician, you might play the song and just and and here's the thing, it's not right. Like it's not right. Like that's not right. But it's like, that's close enough, right? Um, and so, man, I'm embarrassed to say I was guilty of that. Um, and so I would encourage you, don't gloss over chords. Um, let's see, there was another part of that song. Oh, the second time through the introduction, where that that many musician died a horrible death on that hill. Just couldn't get it right. Um, but just work through it, and then ask the question, why does this work? What is this? And start getting it right. So don't gloss over chords. Each chord that you don't know is an opportunity for you to grow your knowledge. Like so many musicians, like, chord, I want to get better, I want to get better, but you gloss over so many opportunities in every song you play. It's like you just approximate it. Don't approximate it. Get it down. What did the guy play? Like he didn't play that. He didn't play. Even though that's close, that's not it. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Here's another one. All right. So I'm gonna take this two ways. Another mistake musicians make, beginning gospel musicians make, is you don't listen to other instruments. You don't listen to other instruments, right? Um, and let me talk about this in two ways. So the first way is there is so much information being, you know, guitar guys that can play, and the stuff they're playing, you can take those ideas and apply them to the piano, right? Or even organ and piano. You can take the organ ideas and apply them in a particular way to the piano. Singers, I listen to singers all the time. Matter of fact, when I'm playing, I'm thinking like a singer. That's how I'm modeling. Um, and there are so many instruments, the drums, the rhythms, modeling those. There's so much information and music being given by other instruments, but we don't take advantage of. We don't think about like studying. Like, let me study this drummer and how he plays rhythm. All right, so that's the first way. And then the second way is when you're actually playing with other musicians, you don't listen to other instruments. Like you're solely concerned about yourself and what you play. And so music is a conversation. We're having a conversation. It's language, right? And it's never fun to have a conversation with somebody who has everything they're going to say in a conversation already planned out, and it doesn't matter what you say. They're going to say their planned out response. uh, it's like For those of you who tried to learn another language, you know, you might have like, "Hello, how are you?" And you've planned that they respond like, "How are you?" And then you respond like, "I'm fine." But if they don't respond like that, you might say, "Hello, how are you?" And they say, I'm great, but the weather is bad. Do you have an umbrella?" And you respond with, "Wonderful. I'm glad you're great. I'm great too." Like what? like you got to listen. Sometimes the musicians are implying something else, like saying, "I know you learned that chord, but we're trying to go a different way. Go this way. Go this way." Um, and even today, I'll listen. Like we have a talk back my system, which means I have a mic in front of me so I can talk to the musicians, other musicians. Now they can't talk back to me, but they might hear something, and um, like they might set it up. So my bass player might start setting up what he's hearing, and I hear him, and I'm like, "Okay, I go with you." Now my drummer, he has like a big shield in front of him, so he'll tap on the shield, and like, "Core, I'm hearing this," and he'll just kind of like do like this, like, I'm like, "Okay, that's what you mean." Like, it's the funniest stuff. But like, listen to the other instruments, listen to what they're saying to you, because it's a conversation, it's language. All right. Um, so number 12. All right. So often we only study one facet of music, which is harmony. Give me the next chord. Give me the next chord. I want another chord. Give me another chord. Give me another chord. And we never study rhythm. We never study melody and how to play these things. Like we don't study them at all. Like I think I have courses on melody, and I have snippets of courses on rhythm, but these things are just rich with so much information that you could spend a lifetime studying one facet. And for many of us gospel musicians, we don't study the other facets. We're only studying harmony and give me more harmony. But we need every facet. Okay, I'm working my way through. All right, number 13. Okay, listen, it's important that, as I said, you learn to push through the struggle and learn to hear these things for yourself. Hear the ideas, hear the chords, hear the melody for yourself. Because number 13. Here's number 13. So many of us, gospel musicians, especially beginners, we trust uh, YouTube videos, and here I am making a YouTube video, but we trust stuff we found on the internet, as this is how you, like, guys will put up, like, this is how this is played, and it's not right. It's not right. Um, it's just not right. Um, and so you just can't take it. Like even the guys with the best ears, even the players that with like can play um, some of the fanciest stuff. Like you just can't. Oh, so and so said play. This is how it goes. So this is how it goes. No, like literally, just recently, I almost called, um, and I was debating another teacher, and YouTuber, because they released a video and they had errors. It was and they ended up actually reaching out to me, but they had errors in the video, and I was like, wait, that's not right. And so just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean it's right. This is part of the reason, like, I started the YouTube channel. I was sitting there looking at YouTube and saying, "Oh wow, there is more error than what is right uh, on YouTube. There's so much error. So don't don't trust a YouTube video." I have some musicians. that they'll get a little lazy and just try to learn, pull up somebody teaching it on YouTube and then play it for me. And I'm like, that ain't right at all. That's like just just wrong. So just you know, do your research. So one, listen to the record. Listen to the record. Listen to the record. Their answers are there. They're in the record. All right. And the 14th thing, uh, you try to practice too many things at one time. You try to practice too many things at one time. Listen, in this music world, there are just thousands, maybe millions of topics to cover. It's there's so much to cover, and so you can get like just inundated with so much stuff. Like, oh, there's so much stuff I need to cover, um, uh, and learn. And so you try to start learning everything, everything, everything. And as you all know, if you've been here any length of time, you know, I'm a big proponent of mastering one thing. And here's the thing. Here's one unspoken thing about music. If you master one thing, it has these weird osmosis like effects that they'll improve other areas of your playing. Like if you're working on playing pentatonic runs, and you're working on this, what'll invariably happen is when you go to play chords, your chords will be better. You'll get to them cleaner. You won't miss. Why? Because as you improve, it's not just I just improve here and everything else stays the same. Everything else starts to pull up as well. Because no musician rehearses everything, every element equally. There's melody, harmony, rhythm, but we don't rehearse everything equally. But we just some things get pulled up because other areas get better, right? I see somebody put the Will Smith brick story. Yeah. So I think that story goes. I think Will Smith's dad had him knock down a brick wall to the store or something to this effect, and had Will and his brother rebuild the wall. And the point that Will made was when you go to rebuild this wall, you don't rebuild the wall. You place one brick as perfectly as you can place it, just one, and then you go to the next one. And after a while, you have a brick wall. So your goal isn't to build the brick wall. Your goal is to place this one brick as perfectly as I can place it. So my goal is to learn this one pentatonic run as perfectly as I can place it. My goal is to learn this one bass line with my left hand as perfectly as I can play it. My goal is to play this chord as perfectly as I can play it. And after a while, you have a whole bunch of things that you can do. And when you sit down, you're playing, and everybody's like, "Whoa, you can play." Well, yeah, but I didn't set out to play. I just set out to learn this chord, this run, this scale, this line perfectly. And the thing is, what I see most is musicians learning so many things, but learning them partially. And so when they sit down to play, it's a whole bunch of partial information. Like it doesn't come out clear. It's like I think I know what you're trying to do, but you flubbed it all the way through. Like it was just flubbed all the way through, and it was never clean. Not one part of it was clean. Everything was just flubbed, and you don't want that, right? Here's a quote from that Jazz Advice article that I mentioned. Um, it's not how much you gain; it's how much you retain. I remember looking at a video of Corey Henry when he was 17, and he was playing a shout, uh, and he wasn't doing anything special. It was a regular shout, just basic, just basic, I don't know. Give me a key. Just simple. And he kind of did some changes and stuff. But here's what I noticed: everything he played was perfectly played. Like everything he played was like dead on. Like there was no misses. It was everything was like dead on and what it's supposed to be. Like everything. Um. Uh. Um. Uh. And so I remember one of the remarks was like, he's gonna be like yeah, he's great, or he's gonna be like amazingly great. But he didn't play anything great. What he did was he played a whole bunch of ideas and played them all great. And they were all simple ideas, but he played them well. Like just it was amazingly solid. Just solid. I was like, wow. Like you were taken aback just because he played it all perfectly. And it wasn't um difficult. So um so those are the 14 things. uh um so let me see if I can go through them really quickly. Just recap. First one is beginners often have underdeveloped theoretical knowledge. You haven't worked out your theory yet. Two, you don't let the music hear the music in your mind. Three, you avoid struggling. Four, you don't spend any time exploring. Five, you underestimate your individuality. You're special. You're different. You're unique. Six, you ignore the gospel tradition. Seven, you don't fall in love with the music. Like, do you love this? Eight, you don't acquire the language. There's things that are just gospel music language. Like you got to know how to play these things. Do you know the language? Nine, you don't actually learn the songs. 10, you gloss over chords you don't know. 11, you don't listen to the other instruments. 12, um, you don't study rhythm and melody, which are just as important. 13, you trust online videos too much. And 14, you practice too many things at a time. And so, uh, uh, if you um, if you go through these and correct these 14 things as a beginner, I think you will avoid many of the pitfalls that so many musicians fall in, and it ultimately derails their growth. Okay. Wow. That took way longer than I thought. I was going to try to take some calls today, but I think we might save that for maybe next week because we're already at almost an hour on the live stream. All right. So let me go through and listen. If you have any questions, write them down. Let me go through the chat because you all have been chatting nonstop. I see you. Let's see. Keith Wilson says individuality. Great point. Yeah, exactly, Keith. We all bring something to the table. Um, so don't poo poo your what you bring. Josiah Brown says sometimes I just put my fingers down and listen to what comes out. You know, Herbie Hancock said that. Herbie said sometimes I just let my hands fall on the piano and like while I'm playing on a gig. And I've done that many times. Like wherever my hand falls, I'm going to make that work in the moment. Let's see. Joe Gang Juan says, I love gospel music, but I cannot trust the religion. So I'm going to start gospel music. Well, I can answer this on two fronts, Joe. One, gospel music is a style of music. However, Um, I would say trust the God of the gospel music. And God and religion are different things. Trust the God. All right, let's see who else. Aha. So yeah. Oh yeah. So Josh says walk up in reference to, and I think I was playing the F and going to the B flat. I was going to give you all the answers. Who's that? Elliot says, wait, give us the answers. I was going to give you a whole bunch of options right there. I was literally about to play the options. And then I said, no. Go ahead and go through the struggle. Learn. Learn. Um, yeah, Kay says, nobody greater is a nice tune. Yeah, it is. Um, Gina says, man, I wish I could share this with a certain group of people. Just saying. Who are these people, Gina? Are they on the live stream today? Did you tell them about the live stream? Josh says I spend about 5 to 6 weeks on just one song. Hey, I've been I've been spending I might be at 5 weeks on one song. I've been working on this song. I will bless the Lord. Let me see. Um, this song. Um, all right. So I've been just exploring that one. Like I can play the song, but just exploring, trying to dig further, get into the depths of this thing, trying to unearth some things. And I've been just it's been like a wonderful time to study, just trying to unearth some things. I have several studies I'm doing right now, ideas. I've been studying, following singers and like digging further, trying to unearth some really really deep secrets about it, and we're coming up with some things. Um, I've been developing a framework for a few other things. But it takes time to unearth all these things. Some of them don't come easy, so you got to really dig and work for it. But once I have it, like the fruit of this will be amazing because I learned so much. Um, okay, all right. Hold on a minute, Gina. All right, y'all. Y'all stick on. We need to help Gina out right here. Gina says, I feel like we are living my world right now, and I don't know how to change it without hurting feelings. So I just quit and let them do it wrong. Um, all right, Gina, nah, don't quit. Don't quit. Keep pushing. Push through this struggle, and don't. If it's not being done right, hey, let's make it right. Um, let's make it right. So don't give up. Don't give up. All right, Keith says a monthly membership. It's coming. I literally was going to pull in the picture, kind of show y'all just a little snippet of what it looks like, just a little snippet. And I said I was going to do it last week, and I think I said I might going to do it this week, but I forgot to load it in. So I have we're almost there, Keith. Like we're literally almost there. I'm gonna be sending out emailing out a date that we're gonna launch very shortly. So stay tuned. It's coming. I know it's taking longer than I thought. I thought we'd have it done months ago. But this is so much information, so much stuff I'm trying to put in here. And I know people have been saying, "But just open it up. Don't wait." But I wanna get all this stuff in here. So I'm trying to get it all. So it's coming. It's just taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. Um, Josiah Brown says, "You just listed every problem I have. Appreciate it, man. Inspiration. Hey, I'm here to help. I'm glad this can help, man. Honestly. Um, Noriko says, I know recording my playing is one good way to improve, but I hesitate to do so because I don't want to disappoint. Who are you afraid of disappointing? Are you afraid of disappointing yourself? Or who are you afraid of disappointing? Yeah, y'all encourage Gina to keep on. All right. Boston says, thanks so much for the teaching. Oh, you're welcome. Gina says, nope. I hate you, Gina. Uh, Anthony says, thanks for this information, Corey. My random question is, when you have no bass player, how do you alternate between playing the single bass notes or chords in the left hand? Um, mm, I dealt with this. I went like 3 years without a bass player, and had to play key bass on top. Um, and I hated. I should have embraced it, but I hated playing key bass. Just hated it. Um, um, so a lot of times, what I do is play the one, and then play all my chords in the middle. So like say for instance like. All right, I see my hands have gotten out of sync. Let me just fix this. Do it again. Yeah. So it's like I just hit on one and then play. You see what I'm saying? And then hit on one and play. Okay. Um, all right. So Noriko says, yes, she's worried about disappointing herself. Um, so yeah, but Noriko, we got to be honest with ourselves. The worst lie is the one we tell ourselves, or the worst deception is how we deceive ourselves. That's the worst one. So if you're going to be honest with anybody, be honest with yourself and how you sound. And it's okay to disappoint yourself, but then you know how to fix it. You know, but don't deceive yourself that you sound better than you actually do. Like, be honest. All right. Leon says, what will the membership cover? Okay, I can share this with you. Um, we're going to cover 9 areas of musicianship. So those 9 areas are, first, just the plan for your improvement. Secondly, technique, language, repertoire, which is songs, and the things you need to, from songs that you need to know to how the language of the music that I've just been talking about. Ear training, transcriptions, theory, sight reading, and the musician mentality. We're going to cover those 9 things. Your plan for your improvement, technique, language, repertoire, ear training, transcriptions, theory, sight reading, and the musician mentality. So these are the 9 things we're going to be covering in the monthly membership. So you definitely want to be a part. Uh, Shirley says, I've been working on the 3 scales every musician knows, switching from the minor to the pen scale over the one. It's been close to 1 year now. Almost there. Cool deal. Keep going. Keep working. Keith says, Gina, not to badger you, but if it is your assignment from him, meaning God, don't let others deter you. You have something they need. They just don't know it. That's a great point, Keith. It's a great point. Well said. Joshua says, I play to intentionally sound bad. Like go all in. And folks say, Dude, that's beautiful. Uh, Josh, you play to sound bad? What are you saying there? You mean you when you practice? Like, what are you saying? You play to sound bad, and people say you sound good? All right, Nev Morales says, please do a lifetime membership. Hey, man, long time no see. Yes, please do a lifetime membership. Um, we will see. We will see. All right, let me ask you all. You all are my 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 community here, so I can trust you all. Put a let's do this. Put a one in the chat box. Everybody, if you would like me to do a lifetime membership, like you play one time, pay one time, you have access to the membership for life. Put a one in the chat box, or put a two if you say nah, Corey. Let's just do monthly. We don't need. We don't want a lifetime. Just do it monthly. So one if you want the lifetime membership option. Uh, hey, Karen. Man, it sucks that we're not gonna have GNWA this year. It doesn't. I was looking forward to being there. What's going on, Chris? Haven't heard from you in a minute, man. Hope all is well. All right, come on. I need everybody to vote. We got 53 people online right now, so I need 53 answers. So give me your answer. Like, one, would you like just lifetime membership, or two, like no, of course, do monthly. What would you like? Let me know. One or two. All right. Uh. Come on, give me some more votes. Give me some more votes. I need everybody voting. Um, all right, so let's see. Are we close to? No, we still got a long way to go. Come on, everybody. Sorry, sorry for coughing in your ear. Come on, give me your votes. Okay, never I was going for it. I think Lifetime will save us money, and please do the option of Lifetime but pay in 3 to 6 installments, so a monthly Lifetime. He's going for it. Okay. uh. Man. I hear you, man. I hear you. um. Gina says, personally, I think you would be cheating yourself with the one time because if it's too high, people won't join. But if you keep it lower, you'll be losing out. I don't know. I hear you on that. See, Jacquez just says, sorry, I'm new. Do you get virtual private lessons? Yeah. Here's the link to sign up for private lessons. I offer different packages, or you can do a one-off lesson. Um, David says need passing chord lesson, bro. Um, okay, well I do have um, a pretty popular video. It's probably I think my most popular video. I did a passing chord lesson. Was that David? Yeah. So David, here's the link to that passing chord lesson. Well, Boston depends on who you're talking about. For you or for me? Uh, hmm. 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 Okay. All right. I hear you all. I hear you all. So thank you for voting. All right. I see. I hear you, Sheila Zakat. All right. So we'll take this all in consideration. And we'll be sending out more information about cost and everything for you all. So stay tuned. I'm really excited about it, and it's coming. Like I said, it's just taking a little bit longer uh, than I thought it would. Uh, uh, you know, it just is. There's so much information I'm trying to put in there, um, and the interesting thing is, like every month we're adding uh, literally dozens of videos every month. We're even once the membership starts, we're adding new videos every like it's a ton of stuff. Like there's so much material in there, like and I have some surprises for you. So I can't wait to share them. Uh, Chris says, "You have any tips on modulating?" Um, um, I'll give you one tip. 'Cause I was just about to close. Um, Common tone modulations. That's a classic one. Common tone. So find a common tone and use that to modulate. Uh, Chris, you got to come on earlier, man. I need to talk to you too, Chris. Anyway, um, um, let's connect because I got some stuff I want to ask you about. All right. So Anthony says, will the membership have jazz and gospel material? Well, the membership is focused towards gospel musicians. Um, so that'll be kind of the bent. But I'll share, the stuff. I'm gonna share all the stuff. Okay. It's just be a more gospel bent, so it'll be kind of tailored for a gospel setting, gospel stylings, right? Um, yeah, Gina, Chris is a phenomenal musician. uh, uh, and a phenomenal composer as well. So he he is uh, looking for some super duper secrets. I can't go into right now. All right, y'all. Listen, thank y'all for being troopers and staying on with me this long, man. We've been at it for a little while now. Okay, so make sure. I think I still have a link to our community. Um, So in the description box, make sure you sign up and join our community, join our email list, and so because I will be sending out emails to you all. All right. I think that's it, y'all. I rarely ask for this, uh, but with the YouTube algorithm changing, definitely hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, it'd be really cool if you could. But with the YouTube algorithm changing, some videos aren't being displayed. So if you could, that would definitely help us out here and help us grow this channel, help us stay on YouTube. Um, all right. Um, well, without further ado, I think we covered everything tonight. 14 mistakes. So go ahead and start improving on those things. All right. Thank you all so much. Be blessed and happy practicing.